I've smelt a couple of this Gucci Flora range. I've smelt the original Gucci Bloom, and I don't like that one. That one I think smells quite old fashioned. It's just kind of, I don't know, I think it's like, well, it's sort of tuberosy, but it's, there's just something about it that didn't sit right with me. I found it quite sharp and, like I said, quite kind of vintage smelling, and just not very exciting generally. And I feel like it smells quite similar to a lot of other tuberose forward kind of traditional sort of almost white flowery perfumes. So you can get it for so much cheaper. You know, you can get the same kind of perfume just so much cheaper. And then I also have tested out the Gorgeous Gardenia, and that one I actually smelt in store, and I was just very confused by it because I'm not sure that smells like gardenia at all. I don't think it does. I think it's a weird name. It was incredibly sweet and yeah, just like super syrupy, sugary, way more fruity than I was expecting, and not as floral as I was expecting. And I'm sure, like, if you like kind of super mega sweet florals, then that one's probably quite pretty. But it was also slightly generic to my nose. And again, like for Gucci prices, you'd want something a bit more exciting. But I got sent this little sample with one of my perfume orders. It was just a little freebie, and I have to say, this Gorgeous Jasmine, as you can see, I think this is a very pretty spring-like scent. I also think this is the nicest bottle. This is the bottle that has the kind of, I mean, my lighting in here is the evening, so it's not great, but it's like a kind of minty green almost, like a kind of, yeah, it's very pretty indeed. So as you can see, it has a little bit about it here. It says jasmine, magnolia and mandarin, but on Fragrantica there's way more going on than it says here. Although, to be honest, I think this smells very straightforward. I think it smells like jasmine, magnolia and mandarin. Like, I think that's what you get. But it says top notes Italian mandarin, bergamot and black pepper. Middle notes jasmine, sambac, magnolia, damask rose. Base notes benzoin, Australian sandalwood and patchouli. But I would never have guessed that it had that many notes in it. This, I think, smells quite simple, but very pretty and floral. Now, anyone who's watched me before knows I can't really wear jasmine, but this is one of those jasmines that I think is very pretty. This has been compared to L'Interdit by Givenchy. I'm just going to click on that real quick to see. The Eau de Parfum version. So I've got that on order actually. I've got a little sample of the Eau de Parfum and the Rouge version and the EDT, because the EDT is the only one I've ever smelt in stores. And I remember thinking it was quite nice, but I'm always a bit worried about things that have patchouli and that the patchouli might take it over a bit. But Gucci Flora, this Gorgeous Jasmine, it's very strong in the mandarin, and it's got a beautiful mandarin note. It's strong in the jasmine, but there's just a little hint of magnolia as well. Now, I can't wear jasmine. Jasmine gives me a headache if I try to wear a strong, like, jasmine perfume. This is, I think this would leave such a pretty scent trail though. It's so pretty. Now, it is definitely a bit soapy. It's not like it's not like shampoo levels of soap, but I think this definitely smells a little bit akin to a fruity floral body wash, but in a way that I find quite charming. So this is just, I think this is really pretty. It's a really spring-like floral. If you like jasmine, I think this one's one of the nicest jasmines I've smelt in ages. Not because it's particularly special, but I think because it's quite simple, and it's quite, like I said, it smells like spring jasmine. It just smells like fresh spring mandarin and jasmine. And I don't really like many jasmine perfumes, generally speaking, but this one and Lust from Lush are the two that I kind of smelt and thought, oh, I wish I could wear that. I did try wearing Lush once, but my god, the headache was incredible. But that's like the sexy jasmine, and this is like the innocent jasmine, you know. What I will say though is, if you are one of my regular watchers, and you like me because I don't talk about jasmine perfumes because I don't like jasmine, I get the same vibe from this that I get from my Scentology perfume, which is basically, it's like 100ml for £9.99 basically. You can get it on Boohoo and Beauty Base, I think, in the UK. They've got one called Pomelo and Neroli. Now obviously that is mainly pomelo and neroli, but it does actually have jasmine in it. So the top notes of that one are bergamot, blackcurrant and pomelo, heart notes neroli, jasmine and orange blossom, base notes cedarwood and musk. And it has this same fresh body wash, body cream, out of the shower, fruity floral vibe about it, like a very, very similar kind of vibe. Not the same smell because that one is definitely more neroli and it's definitely, you know, more grapefruity, and this one's mandarin-y and jasmine-y, but they both have that beautiful kind of spring, floral, fruity, body care kind of smell about them that's really, really nice, but they're not so harsh that it actually smells like, you know, like a shampoo. It's I think it's really pretty. Like, I've not actually tried this one on my skin because, as I said, like, I know the kind of headache it would induce because just smelling it too long gives me a headache. But I do think it's very, very pretty. Very pretty, this one. And yeah, whether it's worth the money, I'm not sure. I mean, I think, you know, if it was compared to something with similar notes that is much cheaper, then probably, but this one I just think is very pretty. I don't really know how much these Gucci ones are, but I assume Gucci quite expensive, and from what I've heard, Gucci perfumes don't really last very long. So yeah, I mean, I would say if you can find a good dupe or something that smells just like it, probably worth it. But if you don't mind spending money, this is super, super pretty. Like, it's so pretty. It's interesting, it's been compared to a couple of tuberose perfumes, which is interesting because there's no tuberose in this. But there you go. I think it just goes to show how strong jasmine is when you put jasmine in perfumes. It's why I have so many issues, you know, because there's so many perfumes that are just full of jasmine. But anyway, yeah, so I think this is the first time I've ever reviewed a Gucci perfume and liked it. I can't remember the last time I even smelt a Gucci perfume and liked it. But yeah, typically it's one that I can't wear, which is probably good because I don't need it anyway and it's expensive. But there you go. Like I said, Scentology, Pomelo and Neroli, similar kind of beautiful vibe. But this, if you're not worried about money, this is a very pretty, simple springtime perfume.